Oh, you must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh. Hey, everybody. It's Jack Heald, the dad you wish you had. It's time for the afternoon update. It is Wednesday, February the 5th, 2020. And it is fantastic to be here with you and to see you today. I'm going to be talking about something that I think is pretty amazing. A rapper by the name of Zuby, who is a absolute genius, and I'm going to I'm going to tell you what his secret sauce is and explain to you how you can copy it. But first, as we do every day at this time, we're going to pause for a moment and give thanks, be grateful for this beautiful, precious moment. Raise your glasses with me and let us drink a toast to this moment. It is good to be alive. All right. His name is Zuby. He is one of the most extraordinary characters on Twitter. I've been following him for a while now, and those
Mic check, yo.
who are on Twitter
We still here?
aren't following.
Still going strong, yeah? Are you down with Zuby?
What I want to talk
Yeah. I will not go pop, I will not go soft. When I say no means no. This is true hip hop, I do not flip flop. When I say flow mean flow. This is perseverance. This is perseverance. This is perseverance.
Sorry about that. I didn't get those audio levels right when I was sharing him, so I'm just going to get rid of his audio. So Zuby, Z-U-B-Y. What is his secret sauce and how can you copy it? All right. First of all, Zuby does something that everyone who wants to be memorable, be noticed, needs to do, and that is he creates a visual dissonance between what you see when you look at him and who you experience him to be as you get to know him. Doing this particular technique is something that will make you very admirable. People will admire when they experience this kind of dissonance between who they perceive you to be and who you really are. Zuby is clearly, obviously, a rapper. He dresses the part, he looks the part. However, when you get to know Zuby a little bit, either through his music or through his writings, you find out that he absolutely violates virtually every standard we've come to expect of a rapper. Zuby is unapologetically positive, unapologetically politically conservative, and traditionalist. His language is extremely elevated. I don't mean merely that he doesn't swear. I mean that the man has a fantastic vocabulary and he's not afraid to use it. So this weird dissonance between the visual and the experience of the person does something in anybody, and it creates the kind of event in our brains that makes us admire that person. We are attracted to that kind of thing. Now, to make yourself truly memorable, you've got to add some additional ingredients. One of the things Zuby does nonstop is he puts his face in front of his market. You know what? I'm going to look over here at this other camera. I've got the green light that says the camera is on. Zuby puts his face right out there for you to see constantly. The human brain is wired to track and follow human faces. Stanford scientists did the research years ago, and they discovered that babies less than a month old are drawn to human faces over anything else, objects or things that might be faces but we're not sure of. And what scientists have discovered is that there's a particular configuration that makes the difference for that kind of cognitive tracking. That is, you've got to see two eyes, not just one, and you've got to see a nose, and or a mouth centered in the face, centered between the eyes and below them. So we want to see eyes about halfway up the skull, the head, and a nose or mouth centered below the eyes. We recognize that um, as a human face, and we're drawn to it. So Zuby always gives you his face, not hidden. His eyes are not hidden behind sunglasses. You always see two eyes in his mouth, two eyes in his nose. You see his face, so he's very recognizable, not just consciously, but he's appealing to the subconscious things that also make a huge difference for creating connection and making him memorable. In fact, making him unforgettable. So he creates surprise visually. He creates a cognitive dissonance between what we expect and what we experience. He's a positive rapper. And then layer on top of that are some things that make him pretty relatable. And I'm going to talk about both his strengths and his weaknesses in this regard. Zuby demonstrates the values that matter to him constantly. He is a staunch defender of his own values. As it happens, his values tend to be traditional and conservative, but what makes him significant is not so much that he has those, but how valiantly he defends them. He is unapologetic about defending his own values. Now, that's a big deal. That is one half of the ingredients that would make him immensely relatable. This is where Zuby could improve. He shares with us his values, but he doesn't do a great job of sharing with us his weaknesses, his failures. You don't have to do that with all your failures and all your failings. But in order to create a relatable persona, you have to appear to people as someone who's human, as someone who is like them. And the kinds of people that we relate to share with us a common flaw or failing or fear that we all have. Many people are terrified of speaking in public. Most people are terrified of death. Many people have the same kinds of flaws. Maybe they have a short fuse, or they feel like they're never good enough no matter how much success they achieve. If you've got a significant fear or flaw or failing, you can share that with your public. Combine that with a staunch defense of your core values, and that makes you very relatable. Combine those relatable values with the admirable values, which Zuby has. He's got the visual that's very recognizable combined with this shocking surprise that creates a cognitive dissonance about his character. That makes him admirable. Combine admirable with relatable, and you become unforgettable. There's more to Zuby. I hope you take some time to look him up on YouTube, on Twitter. He's a fantastic character and, frankly, a relatable, admirable man. And Zuby, if you're listening, one thing, man, add one flaw to your public persona, a real flaw, something that we can all relate to, and you will be unstoppable. I'm Jack Heald, the dad you wish you had. Thanks for joining me, and we will talk tomorrow.